Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Transformation Hour. Look, this is episode 1 of Night Doubleheader. And for those of you who with sports, baseball, a day night where you do, they play one game during the day. So this is our 1 o'clock episode. We have a superstar again for an 8 o'clock episode, but with another knowledge and wisdom on a totally different subject. And I'm jam-packing 2 episodes in one day. Our mission is to transform businesses of 5 million people by 2023. And in order for us to be able to do that, we have to be omnipresent. We have to be everywhere. We have over the globe. So what I need for you to do right now, in order for us to make this happen, I need your help. So right now, do me a favor, hit the hand corner of the screen somewhere, but hit the share button, share this with your network, share this with your community, your tribe, again, transform the lives and businesses of 5 million people by 2023. All right, and to help us put a dent, I'm going to say help us put a dent in that number is she has been on the Dr. Oz show. She's been featured in Essence. She's one of my favorite magazines, and that is Kids. All right. The Act Like a Success team in the Steve Harvey Conference. Her name is the Moms in Charge, or the Mom in Charge, Christine St.Vil. How are you doing today, ma'am?
Hello, I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Good. I'm happy to have you. So we got to finally have this past weekend, Sales and Profit Live, a phenomenal experience, which I think actually going to support and talk about today about purpose, because the purpose and intent behind that conference is to create generational wealth, specifically in the African American community, and the Ronnie and Lamar Tyler, they are full steam ahead and working with purpose. Focusing on you today, we want to talk about the Moms in Charge brand, but before we the Charge brand, tell the viewers a little bit about and what was the catalyst? What spurred your brand?
Sure, absolutely. I'm having a little trouble hearing you, so hopefully Be Live is nice to us and allows this to go smoothly.
Uh-oh.
Before I do that, definitely want to shout out Ronnie and Lamar Tyler, because as you know, you were there, Traffic, Sales, and Profit. Talk about people who are walking in their purpose, people who are allowing other people to walk in their purpose. I'm so grateful that, you and I both got to experience that, because now we can take that on to the masses, and we can, continue to help to create that generational wealth that we all want for our families. So thank you so much for having me. So like you said, my name is Christine St.Vil, for those of you who don't know me. And I created momsincharge.com in 2012. And my mission behind that was simply to empower moms to feel good without feeling guilty, and to help them understand that you can pursue your goals and your dreams in addition to being a great mom, and that one or the other it doesn't have to be either or, it could be both. And so through that, that's really how it started, with me just trying to empower other moms. And it's because I kind of needed that empowerment myself. So a lot of times we talk about the things that we need. We talk about the things that, we know that we see and we need in ourselves. And so for me, I needed to take charge of my own life. And so Moms in Charge was something that I wanted to help other moms to take charge of their lives. I always say I became a victim of identity theft, and the culprit was motherhood. When I became a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids under 3, and, just try to find myself, try to figure out, who I was, working in corporate and then not working in corporate overnight, and just trying to figure out what my purpose was, what I needed to do. And so, it was a need that I had for myself. I needed to learn how to put myself first again and understand the importance of that. And so often moms are guilted into doing anything for themselves, into, taking care of themselves, taking time out for themselves, going out with their girlfriends, having a good time. It's like we have to be mom all the time. And so I had to learn that if I wasn't taking care of myself, then I wasn't taking care of my children. I wasn't taking care of my husband, my family. And so that became my mission. That became, my mantra. I remember seeing a quote on social media shortly after I started Moms in Charge, and it said FLY, the acronym, and it stands for first love yourself, everyone else comes after. And so that became the mantra that I stood by, because I understood the power of it, and I had to learn how to do that for myself.
That's awesome. So it seems to me that you had to discovery to really figure out who Christine was again in order for you to really serve your tribe, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly right. And so with me learning how to do that for myself, I then, started connecting with other moms and empowering them to do the same. And so, it's just been an amazing journey to be able to see someone or have someone tell me that, thank you for that post, or thank you for, that video that you did, or that email that you sent, because it helped me get out of my own way. It helped me to realize that I need to come first. I need to understand that as long as I'm taking care of myself, as long as I'm doing something to benefit my family, then there's nothing to feel guilty about.
All right. So in your day-to-day journey, right, you have kids, you've been married for 11 years, beautiful things, space. Some of the things that you can share with the viewers and how you maintain the balance and keep all the balls, that you're juggling in the air.
So you said two key words there, Jay. One that I don't like to use, that I kind of despise, and I try to, and in fact, I just had a conversation with someone on Instagram today, because balance is so overrated. And I think even with me, what I had to learn, because I was fighting and I was struggling to find that balance, and I don't think that you will ever find balance. I don't think that's possible, but I do believe in juggling. And I love the way that you said that, because that's what I always say, is that I had to learn how to juggle things well. I had to learn how to, give myself grace in the process of understanding that I can't be, if I'm 100%, mom in one area, there's no way that I can give anything else to something else. And so I had to learn how to juggle those things. I had to learn how to figure out what my priorities were. And a lot of times we feel like everything is important. We feel like we have to have our kids in 10 activities, and we feel like we have to, be in all these ministries and do all these extracurricular activities. And at the end of the day, we are stressing ourselves out. We're, overwhelming ourselves because we're trying to do too much. And, then we get frustrated. And so I had to learn how to juggle the things that were a priority that I knew that I was called to do, so that I can make room for more opportunities and for me to be able to do those things. So, for me, it's just been about trying to figure out what works. And, I'm a big proponent of time blocking. I was having a conversation with my girlfriend about that the other day. My husband and I, like you said, we've been married almost 12 years. We had 3 kids, 5, 7, and 9. And we also homeschool. We homeschool, but, for us, it's about being able to take advantage and create the life that we want for ourselves. And what does that look like? And so, for us, we want to be able to travel when we want to. And so part of setting ourselves up for doing that was to decide, okay, well, let's try to homeschool, see what that looks like. And we are going into year 5 in the fall. So, for us, it's been an amazing journey, but honestly, it's just been about giving myself grace, understanding that there's never going to be, a perfect balance in anything, but that, as long as I am juggling things, as long as I am, doing things that bring me joy, then it makes things easier. We were at TSP Live last week. I was gone for 5 days. while I was gone, my amazing parents stayed here to help, take care of the kids because my husband was working a lot too. So, today we spent the morning at Six Flags with the family, having fun. So it really is about just figuring out how to make those things, the things that we say that are most important to us, just take time to do those things. And when we're doing those things, really be there in that moment.
Awesome. So one thing that you referenced.
Uh-oh.
Oh, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Say that one more time for me.
Whereas technology, I mentioned
oh, no.
quite often in your response was.
I'm sorry, Jay. It's going out again, so I can't hear. Okay, can we try it one more time?
Saying that you were talking about oftentimes people prioritize.
You said being able to prioritize?
Yes.
Just in how I do it?
I know you talked about the.
Oh my gosh, be live.
But what are some?
As soon as you start talking, it goes away.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
It's all good right now. And what I want those who are listening to us and who can hear me right now to do this broadcast because by 2023. So Christine St.Vil comes in charge of blocking and making sure that you walk in your purpose. And so right now, the keys to time.
Let me see if I can. I'm going to see if I can hear it through my phone. Maybe. 1 second.
Just hold on. We're going to start talking about the keys to time management.
Okay, I think it's.
Just sure that you understand.
Okay, let me try it one more time. I'm going to try to listen in from my phone.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I know you asked me about purpose, priorities.
Yeah, purpose. We talked about priorities, so now, and I wanted you to talk about the keys of time. Can you hear me?
Time management, right? Okay. I got it. Yay. And I see Stacy's on here and Kim is on here. So hello, beautiful ladies. Thank you so much for joining. So yes. So for me, it just varies. Like I talked a little bit about the importance of time blocking, and for me, and I was just having a conversation, is that if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to get done. So I put everything on the calendar. I have a shared calendar with my husband. And, if I'm doing something for work, if I have to be gone, if I have an interview like this that I need to be here for, then he knows like he's going to help me hold it down so the kids ain't, running in the background and all of that. So, for me, it's really about one of the things that I had to learn early on, and I wrote about this in my book that I co-authored with my sister called Whose Shoes Are You Wearing, is the fact that I had to learn how to say no. The fact that no is a complete sentence. So I realized that I wasn't managing my time because I was trying to be everywhere for everyone else and do everything for everyone else. And that left little time for myself. So I had to learn how to say no more often. I had to learn how to, release myself of the guilt for saying no, especially to people who were used to me saying no, to people who were used to me being there. I come from a very big family, which I say all the time. So there's always something going on. And I had to give myself permission to say no so that I could protect my time, because that was honestly one of the biggest things that I had to do. And what I find when I'm working with clients, or, I'm connecting with other moms who are struggling with time management and trying to figure out how to make things work, is that they're trying to put too much on their plate. They're trying to put too much on their schedule. Even with the kids, we have them in Taekwondo. I know my girls, talked about doing gymnastics. So we're probably going to do that soon as well. But, I'm not going to be the mom that is running around all week, every day, trying to get them from one place to another. I'm like, well, what do you really want to do is what I ask them. I'm not going to just force them to do something to try things out, but it's more so, what is your interest, so that we can focus on that one thing. And when time permits, and if we get more time, then yeah, we can definitely look into other things. But, for me, I had to learn how to say no and protect my time as much as possible, to different things. And even after coming out of TSP Live, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to, do a couple things different, maybe not go to, some of the things that I was planning on going to, because I have more focus now. And so when you have more focus and when you have clarity, it's going to be so much easier for you to say no.
Right. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I share with my clients is, I personally don't believe that, because I don't believe we can pause time. It was just say you can bear. And that's what you're talking about in terms of prioritizing your task and making sure that on the calendar and the get the. So that's good stuff.
Absolutely.
And so in that entire process, you're taking care of serve your community or your tribe. What are some of the things that you do to ensure that you're getting that self-care in, to make sure that Christine performance at all times?
Absolutely. It's one of those things that you have to make it a priority. And I say a priority in the terms of, it has to become a non-negotiable. For me, I realized that I was becoming someone who I didn't like to be around, because I would be snappy, I'd be short. And I was like, that's not me. So for me, it has become a non-negotiable, because I just have to make that time. So whether it's driving around the corner, just, by myself, listening to music, or if I go have a cup of coffee by myself, for whatever that looks like. And for me, it doesn't have to be elaborate or anything like that, but I have to decide that this is what I'm going to do. And so I put stuff on the calendar. So again, if it's not on my calendar, it's just not going to get done. I, have to put an appointment if it's getting my nails done, if it's going to do whatever it is, go out to dinner with a girlfriend. If it's not on my calendar, it's just not going to get done. And when it doesn't get done, then I start to feel the effects of it. And I understand, the power of making sure that I get that time in. And, again, it becomes a matter of, listen, if I don't do this for myself, then I'm not giving my family the best person, the best version of me that I can possibly give them. And I owe it to them. And if I say that I'm doing this for my family, but at the same time, I can't enjoy it and I can't find joy in it, then for me, it's kind of like, well, what am I doing it for?
So, and speaking of joy, I want the Moms in Charge tribe. I'm sure that brings a lot of joy to you, to be able to lead your community, lead those that you serve. What is it like to really serve your community as the leader of your community and push them towards the vision and mission that you've set for them?
Absolutely. Honestly, Jay, it's always hard for me to look at myself as a leader. Even when I get testimonials, even when I get people reaching out to me, or I give them, a small tip and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. I still feel like I'm just me. I've kind of feel like I'm just going through or sharing my experience. And if I can share something that helps somebody else to reach their level, to reach their joy, then that is a blessing in and of itself. And so honestly, that is the biggest blessing. My sister and I, we co-authored a book in 2014 called Whose Shoes Are You Wearing? And every year since then, we've put out a planner, a goal-setting planner. And so this year was the first year that we actually opened up a secret Facebook group for anyone who purchased the planner. And the women in that group are absolutely phenomenal. Like the stuff that they are doing, the goals that they're setting, it is just mind blowing. And literally we probably shed tears like every week because they're sharing their successes. They're sharing, you know, how it's helping them. And that is exactly why we decided to do it. That is the ultimate level of just joy and feeling like we're being blessed. Like they're saying we're blessing them, but in the process, they're blessing us with their testimonials. And it's interesting because just yesterday, one of the ladies, she said I could share this, shared a testimonial in the group. And she said, you know, she had a chance to go back into her planner and read her goals that she set in the beginning of the year. So in the beginning of the year, we have everyone set, you know, a goal at the very beginning. You know, they're set their goals for the year. And every month when they're setting their action steps, they're supposed to directly identify with the goals that they set. And so she was saying that she already completed 4 of her goals for the year, and it brought her so much joy. And for the first time ever, she has stuck to something, multiple things, without, you know, half-stepping, but half-stepping, and that she said there'll never be another year where she doesn't use this tool. And so honestly, for us, it's really about, listen, we want you to win. And however we can help you do that, creating tools, creating courses, that is the ultimate blessing. That to me is walking in your purpose. And there is absolutely nothing like that. So when people say, well, what is your purpose? I can tell you what it's not. And for me, it's definitely not something that's going to stress you out. It's definitely not something that's going to cause grief and overwhelm and all of those things. So if that's what you're experiencing, then you still need to keep looking, you know, for that thing that you're supposed to be doing.
Nice. So you talked about you talked about how you're yourself a leader, and I imagine that they're out there right now who are themselves leaders. What that you can give to a woman who's out there wondering, you know, what can I do to become and you know, how can I actually build a community and a tribe myself to lead their mission and a vision?
Absolutely. I think the main thing is to focus on doing great things. Focus on, you know, your mission and being the best that you absolutely can be. Focus on making sure that you have amazing people in your circle. I've been blessed. You know, I was just sharing this again. I think somewhere someone mentioned something, and I commented the other day that, you know, a lot of people tend to say women are always fighting their caddy, they can't work together. I've never had that experience. I've always had amazing people in my life, in my circle, both personal and business, that push me to be greater, push me to do better. You know, I never will feel like I have it all or that I know it all. I'm always looking to be connected with other people who know way more than I do, who can, you know, kind of show me the ropes, kind of take me through their own process, take me through their own journey. So, you know, for me, it's about not focusing on being a leader, but focusing on how you can help other people reach their level of purpose, reach their level of greatness that they're supposed to be here for. You know, and when you're authentic and when you're genuine, then people will see that. They will automatically see that and want to share, you know, who you are and what you do. So for me, it's about not focusing on trying to be a leader, but focusing on making sure that you're doing and being the best that you can be for other people, and focus on serving. You know, a lot of times people, especially nowadays, when you are, you know, trying to, I guess in this level of social media, I should say, you know, when you're trying to reach that next level, you're so focused on, you know, what can you get from someone when you see a connection for someone that has something, as opposed to focusing on how you can serve that person or how you can, you know, serve over here, because, you know, for me, I've learned that the more that I serve, the more that I give to other people, opportunities will come that I'm not even looking for, I haven't even asked for, that I didn't even think were possible. So I think when you focus on serving and when you focus on really just being authentic to delivering your gift and walking in your purpose, then everything else will follow.
Kim just commented talking about service support, and she also talked about whose shoes.
Yes,
that's pretty
cool. Kim is she's one of our Whose Shoes ambassadors. She's in our group on Facebook, our secret group on Facebook, and she has done phenomenal things. She was able to step out of her comfort zone in a huge way back in March and was the official bookseller at the Act Like a Success conference. So, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, when you really decide that you're going to walk in your purpose and you're going to face your fears and do it anyway, do it afraid, then the blessings will come. And God is just waiting to bless us. But, you know, he's waiting for us to make the decision that we want to be blessed, that we, you know, we're ready for the blessings that he already has in store for us.
I'm getting chills right now listening to you say that, because that resonates so much with me. I've had the attend all types of conferences, and conference was one of those conferences that to really get some clarity on this planet. And I remember Washington saying, you know, there are people out there who are waiting for you to serve them. And I really, initially, I didn't quite understand what that meant until people started saying, okay, Jay, hey, look, we really appreciate what you're doing. We need more of what you're doing, because there's so world that we can never have enough people sharing knowledge, sharing wisdom, and sharing information. And speaking of sharing, I need each and every last one of you, if you haven't already.
Yes.
So again, we're on a mission to transform the lives and businesses of 5 million people, and we need your help. Share this video. We need you. All right. So real quick, you're all over the place. And I don't mean that, all right. That's a phenomenal thing. You're doing great things, whether it's leading your tribe, writing books, leading Facebook groups, on the platform, sharing your knowledge and your wisdom to transform their lives and businesses. So my question to you is, what's next? What's a major project, you know, that you can share, of course?
And now I'm like, ooh. Well, I will say this, and just going back, I don't want to like harp on TSP Live, but it really, really was phenomenal. I've been to a lot of events. I've been to a lot of conferences. I've seen a lot of things, and this one just really, I think, gave me a new level of clarity in my business and in who I serve and why I do what I do. So I'm just actually in the process of just getting more focused. I definitely will be having some new courses coming out, and different things like that. My sister and I are going to be working on our 2018 goal setting planner. I'm working on a couple of other things that I can't quite share, but if you want to be first to know, you can definitely go to my website, momsincharge.com/checklist, and get on my list. You'll get you can download a free guide just for mompreneurs that will teach you, how to, connect your purpose and your priorities and how to plan things out as a mompreneur. So I'm definitely excited to share what's coming next. But, honestly, I'm just excited about being able to really get a new level of clarity and to really be able to serve, I think, my community in a more powerful way, I would say.
So what I want to do is we've brought up TS a couple of times in this episode, and because we have we want us to go back and bring that 2.5 day experience to those who weren't able to attend. And I'll be honest with you guys. I've known the Tylers less than a year for a very long time. However, each experience that I've had with this particular couple, this particular community and tribe, I've always left the experience a better person. And here's what I mean by that. their vision for what they're looking to accomplish, their purpose for being here on this planet, it's phenomenal. And you have to be working or walking in your purpose in order for you and understand the work that they're doing. And one of the major key takeaways from that conference is I wasn't doing it big enough. I'm not being bold enough.
Yes.
And and I tell you, we have to be bold. I mean, if you're going to say you're working in your purpose and you're here to serve the greater, you have to have enough to be as bold and as big as you could possibly be, because that's what's your take on that, Christine?
Yeah, honestly, that is it. A lot of times we feel like, yes, you got to be there, Kim. We feel like we are, that we're playing it big, right? But like Lamar said, a lot of times we really just have one foot in and one foot out, because we're like, okay, I'm not going to make the whole jump, because if something happens and, I'll kind of be okay. I won't fall completely down. And so I think that it's so important. It was just inspiring to see, listen, there are people here that were struggling a year ago, 2 years ago. There are people here who are now, changing lives worldwide, being able to create that generational wealth. I've known the Tylers since I started blogging in 2012. They were actually the first platform that allowed me to guest write for them. So I wrote for their site for 5 years. I've been to a lot of their events. I have pretty much everything that they have put out in terms of their products. I'll be going with them on their Black and Married with Kids cruise next month. So, for me, just to see the level in which they are changing lives, that they are transforming lives, that they are, walking in their purpose is absolutely inspiring. They inspired me to, go out and ask for contributors for my blog and to try to build my own community and to make it into a business, that I have just in working with them and in seeing how they are. But, I just think that this thing, and if you guys, are not familiar with TSP, it's Traffic Sales and Profit, with Lamar Tyler of Black and Married with Kids. And, I think that the importance of investing in yourself also just drove home again, because a lot of times people, they want certain things, they want things on a certain level, but they don't want to invest in themselves. And so you have to understand that if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then you can't expect other people to invest in your vision and your dreams. And so, I think that speaks volumes, because there were people there from all walks of life in their entrepreneurial journey, from people who were starting to people who have amazing brands that are known, worldwide. And I think that speaks volumes in and of itself to the mission of TSP, to Lamar and Ronnie Tyler, and to what they're trying to do.
I tell you guys, if you're not focused on how you can create an additional or multiple streams of income, just on being your greatest version, if you're not focused on serving the greater good at the max you could possibly serve at, I have to question, what are you doing? And I don't mean this in a negative way, but I really ask the question, what is your purpose for being on this planet? Why are you here? Are you just going through the motions? And that's what this episode is all about, is to gain some clarity, start to brainstorm, so that you can really start to open yourself up and have of why using that physical vessel that to be able to create. So, Christine, you say that you're creating products. Yeah, you're looking to increase your influence. You got some things going on that that you can't share. I don't say that you don't want to share. You can't share with us right now.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask you right now, for anyone who is watching this broadcast and they're afraid, because oftentimes it's fear that prevents us and paralyzes us from jumping out there and taking the leap or the jump,
right,
as General Steve Harvey himself would say. What type of advice or encouragement do you have for that person who's on the fence, or as Lamar would say, 1 foot in, 1 foot out? What type of advice do you have for that person?
Absolutely. So first, I would tell them to get Whose Shoes Are You Wearing? Because I wrote a whole chapter about the importance of doing it afraid.
I promise you guys, I had to come. All right, but that was a perfect plug. Go for it, Christine.
It's actually the last chapter in the book, and we were very strategic in how we laid everything out, because we realized that no matter how much information you get, no matter how much education, no matter how many resources and tools you have, you're always going to be faced with some level of fear. When you're trying to reach the next level, when you're trying to do amazing things, when you're trying to walk in your purpose, trust and believe, the challenges, the obstacles, they're going to come. They're going to come. That's just inevitable. And you can choose to, decide that you're not going to deal with it, or you can choose to go ahead and do it anyway. And so it's do it afraid, literally, because you can have everything that you need, but you're going to have to face your fears. And I tell this story all the time because it's so directly connected with my journey and what I'm doing, in that I was one of those people that had the worst fear of public speaking. Like, if you would have asked me to do this a few years ago, I would have looked at you like you're crazy. And I remember being at a conference, and the same way that we were able to get up and share at TSP Live, our challenges or our questions, there was an opportunity to always do that throughout the weekend. And I was like, I kept hearing this voice, like, you need to get up and share, like, you need to get, and I was like, I'm not doing that, Lord. I don't know why you're trying to tell me to get up there. I'm not doing that. It's 500 women in here. I don't know any of them. Like, I'm not doing that. So finally, like, I just kept hearing it. And I was like, okay, the very last day I decided to do it. And I really think that was the most, like, pivotal thing for me in terms of my growth, because I realized I didn't die. I was still around, like, and, I was still breathing. I was still, there. But what that did for me was realize that, listen, I can do this. And it also, kind of, as I sat with it some more, I realized that, listen, God is trying to take me places. But if I'm not willing to step out, on faith, as opposed to fear, then I'm going to be missing out on the places that he's trying to take me. And so it was interesting, because the next year that I went to this conference, I ended up being on a panel. And then the following year of that same conference, I ended up teaching my own breakout session. So, I think it's just so important to be able to, face your fears and understand that you're not alone. You're not the first person to, have a fear of doing something. You're not the first person to feel like you can't do something. But, oftentimes there's that level of fear, and next to that fear is also that, place of being uncomfortable. And if you're not uncomfortable, then you're not growing. And so you have to be able to allow yourself to get into that uncomfortable space. And the more that you allow yourself to do that, the more that you can, grow into it. And I still have fears, and I still, get nervous and things like that. But for me, I know that it's not about me. And I had to understand that. That's one of the things that I had to understand in this journey that I'm on. It's never about me. It's about who God allowed me to impact through my community, through, speaking or workshops or the different things that I'm doing. And so when you allow yourself to understand that it's not about you, like, it really isn't, that it's about the people who you were placed here to bless and to help transform and to help guide, then it makes things that much easier.
Things you talked about, and it's a conversation about a weekend, and there's someone out there right now, whether live or might watch a replay later, who's thinking, I don't have what it takes. I don't have the credentials. I don't have the degrees. I don't have the certificates. What's your response to, or your advice to that I plaques on the wall to justify me serve at a high capacity?
Yeah, I think, first of all, you have to identify why those things are important to you. Because oftentimes it's not even really, at the root of it, it's not even really you that it's important to. It's what the perception of having those things mean, and so, that's what you were told growing up, that's what you saw you had to have, and especially when you're starting, it is, easy to feel like you have to have those things. But when it gets down to it, like, why do you want to do it? Why is it important to you? And if you get down to it and it's not something that you absolutely have, then it becomes a thing of, okay, then I need to base this off experience. Like, I built my business off of my own experience, not off of a degree or a certificate or anything that I had, but just off of the stories that I had and the experiences that I was willing to share. And so I think it goes back to just being authentic to who you are and understanding, like, hey, like, is this something that you need for yourself, that you want for yourself? Or is it because you see that, what people will say or what people will think about me is why I'm doing it? And I think when you understand and when you get clarity about your decision for wanting to do that, then it becomes easier. And if you decide that that's not something that you have to have for your business, then it becomes a thing of, okay, well, let me put in the work. Let me, do some research. Let me start doing some workshops. When I started and I realized that I had to get out and speak, if people were going to hire me to speak or ask me to come speak, I started putting together my own workshops. I started creating live workshops. I started doing, before Facebook Lives and, all this live stream, I started doing, teleconference calls, online and offering those for free. So, it's about building that credibility so that people can see you as the expert that you are, and, not feeling like you have to wait for somebody else to give you that platform. So, Lamar wrote a book called The Gatekeepers Are Gone. And really they are. Like, if you want to become an authority, if you feel like you have a passion and a purpose for something, then it's about putting in the work and showing people that, oh, you didn't just take a course today and now you're teaching on how to do it tomorrow. It's about understanding it. It's about doing it. It's about implementing it. It's about testing it. It's about actually showing people and doing it for yourself so that you can be able to show other people how to do it for themselves.
Things, ladies and gentlemen, who is that she about to your experience, being an expert, and when you're serving from either yes or the experience of. So if you have that experience or you have studied and researched that experience, makes you the expert on that topic. Our experiences are our best teachers.
Yeah.
So if you're teaching people how to achieve a goal based on your experience, that makes you. Right. If you're teaching people how not to based on experience, that also makes you an expert. So you don't need degrees on the certificates to serve. Mm-hmm. The lives and businesses of people. And I think one of the things that Lamar shared with us this past week, he doesn't have a business degree at all. I honestly say to you guys, if I did some math while we were sitting there, he may want to offer
a good coin. That's why they call him the coin father.
Yeah. I'll put it out there. Those were just immediately, and he doesn't even have a business degree. So to help the people out there who are impacting lives, creating lasting change, and they don't have. So whether or not you've got the goods to impact people, and because you don't have those.
Yep, and I love what Kanisha said. She said you just got to start, and honestly, that's exactly what it is. You have to start. Like, you can't wait for other people to help you get started. You can't wait, if Lamar and Ronnie hadn't started their blog 10 years ago, they just celebrated 10 years of Black and Married with Kids, where would they be now? Like, we would be like, we wouldn't have had TSP Live. We wouldn't have had all of these things that they've provided for us. But you honestly have to get started. You have to start somewhere. And honestly, for me, going back to the workshops, I was like, okay, I actually, because I was so deathly afraid of doing these workshops by myself, it was all about the Dare to Fly workshop. And, for me, I actually went ahead and booked the library room and reserved the date, put a deposit down before I even had the content for the workshop. But I knew that if I did not do that, I was going to continue to find excuses as to why I couldn't do it, as to why I wasn't doing it. So you better believe that once I made it real by actually putting a date down and putting a deposit down, that I went to work and I was like, okay, well now let me create this content that I know I have in me, but I haven't actually put anything together. Absolutely faith. Absolutely faith. Like I had to do it, because if I had not started doing it at that time, I would still be talking about how I want to put together workshops.
So, and hey guys, check it out. There's something that just came to me as well when she was given that. She booked the venue, put her deposit, hadn't even, or even, launched that. Here with you, if you don't have resources to execute on an idea yet, there's creative things that you can create on the brand of that particular product, pre-sell it, and then resources from your pre-sale to develop, push it out to the marketplace. So there are zero limitations. No such thing as a lack of resource within you. That jump, if you don't, you just have to go for it. Yeah. If to share a really quick story of all conferences. And I don't with a lot of people, but this was to show you how hungry that I wanted it. So this, I want to say, was, and it was up in DC, Virginia area, and I'm sitting on the plane, and the region of the United States at this time, snowstorm we had a couple of years, sitting on the plane, and they canceled my flight. However, I had to be at that conference. The moment they were playing, I immediately went to our counter. I got a room all up. He hopped in the car with me, and we see in the snowstorm. When we got to Virginia, I promised 2 inches of ice on the ground. We had to slow down an hour. Hotel with an hour and a half started. And I say all of that to be in that room. And the reason I had to be in that room is because the speakers stage. Now, these are some phenomenal speakers. Paul Washington, you name it. And of course, Steve. But the fact of their wisdom, from their knowledge, from their experience, poured into me, and had I not had enough courage to make that drive, I guarantee you would not be seeing my face or hearing my voice today, because I was seeds planted and got the nurturing of the thoughts and ideas that I have, all because and I had enough courage to get. And if we don't, I tried.
Yes.
I wanted to share.
No, that was perfect, because I tell you what, anybody who made it there who was not already in the DC area, you could not tell me that they were not hungry, because one of the worst storms that we had that year. I mean, we had people who were trying to fly from, the Midwest, and ended up renting cars and getting on trains and, doing everything that they could to get there. And it just really solidifies the fact of, if you want something bad enough, you're either going to find a way or you're going to find an excuse. And so I think so often, and I just shared this on my Instagram page today, is that I can make anything sound really sexy. But at the end of the day, it's an excuse. If it's something that I'm saying, I'm not doing this because that, like, at the end of the day, it's an excuse. And so, I've had to really check myself sometimes, because it's like, wait a minute, like, I say I want this, but how badly do I really want it? So honestly, you and everybody else who came from out of town, drove in that storm, y'all were hungry for it. Y'all were hungry for it, dedicated to it. And that is honestly what it takes to get to the level that you're trying to get to.
Absolutely. So real quick, guys, I'm going to show you how to share this video on a mission on the lives and businesses of people by 2023, and we need your help. We need you to share this with everyone that's in your tribe, everyone that's in your, on your different platforms. Christine, I'm going to get you up out of here, ma'am. I'm so grateful for your time. I'm so grateful for the knowledge that you give our viewers on today's episode. If you share with the people, find your site, your social media handles, etc.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. Glad that we finally got to, connect last weekend. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Hey, Kanisha, Kim, Stacy, Jay, I see it's in there. But thank you guys. Thank you for having me. This is honestly just an amazing thing that you're doing. I think that is so needed because, so often you just never know that one thing that you say will change somebody's life forever. That one thing that you do for them can change somebody's life and trajectory of what they're doing. So I am happy to be here, honored to be here. If you want to connect with me, again, my website is momsincharge.com. No I. I am everywhere on social media at Moms in Charge. And again, if you want to download my free checklist specifically for mompreneurs, you can go to momsincharge.com/checklist, and that will get you there. So I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everyone who's watching live and on the replay.
No doubt. Hey, I'm looking at one of the comments, and Kanisha says, see y'all at TSP next year, Kanisha. Look, I have to go back, and I know we a little bit gave Christine, but I want to tell you guys, whether it's TSP Live, whether it's Act Success, whatever you want to learn, someone is teaching it. If you want to be a better parent, if you want to be better in business, if you want to be better at marketing, if you want to write your first book, whatever it is, sales training, find someone, and oftentimes people are teaching and giving this information away for free oftentimes. You get what you pay for, and at some point you do have to make that investment. But I encourage you, if you're on the fence, if you're wondering whether or not, and it's an investment, guys, it's not an we oftentimes we think, oh, if I spend my money, I have to do physical in order for me to actually made a purchase. No, guys, make the investment, be in the room, attend the conferences, attend the workshops. I promise you, your life and your will transform, and I promise you, you'll appreciate the fact that you did. So, again, Ms. Christine, I thank you. I'm grateful for you. Stand by one second so I can close out the show.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, another episode of the Transformation Hour. I am your host, Jay Jackson, and this show that is designed to help us connect so that individuals, businesses, and communities can develop, transform, and fly to new heights. Again, guys, we're on a mission to transform the lives and businesses of 5 million people by 2023, and I need your help. Whatever you can do to help us make this happen, share this broadcast, invite people to come on board and watch future. We're doing this for you. I'll be any expert that you need on whatever you need to have. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you want to talk about. I'll go out and find those people. There are people who out there who are passionate about seeing you succeed. You're probably thinking, well, these people don't know me. Why would they do this for me, to help me, or to help my business grow? Because we understand that the better this works. So do me a favor, leave some comments below. Let me know what it is that you want to be educated on, what knowledge and wisdom you need, whatever subject it is out there, and we'll go out and find them. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for joining us today. This is beautiful, man, to get a few people to take some time out of the middle of their 1 p.m. to join us. I really, and I look for you guys again soon. So everybody who's online, you have a great day. And remember, we'll be back at 8 p.m. with Justice Fergie. He's going to be our superstar guest tonight at 8 p.m. Talk entrepreneurship, issues. We're just going to talk about all types of things. But it's going to be an education experience. Edutainment is what I like to call it, guys. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again tonight at 8 p.m. Bye, everybody.